Welcome to Night Journals. I'm Bastinis, recording Renaissance number 3. The Renaissance, again, was a very important moment in European history and for the world. There were many good things to come out of the Renaissance. There were many bad things that came out of the Renaissance. But mankind had to move forward. And I like to think about the Renaissance as a story. It is a story now, like many of you. I used to love to be in the kitchen with my mother when she would bake a cake. All the ingredients that go into a cake serve their own specific purpose. There are more bitter things that go into a cake than sweet. There are more unpleasant things that go into a cake than once the cake is cooked or pleasant. And that's the way life is. So if you're looking for that Renaissance that we talked about in podcast number 1, Renaissance, the recording Renaissance 1, where I quoted an old proverb, an old African proverb that talked about going to a poor man and trying to convince him to become rich. The proverb, to paraphrase, said the man probably would decide to stay poor. Well, we want to end this podcast tonight saying you don't have to run from greatness. It takes a lot of work, it seems, to become rich or to become happier in life. But I've been on both ends of the spectrum. You work hard for nothing and you work hard for money. So it's your choice. What level of work do you really want to endure in the sense of discomfort? I think following your own star, follow a star. Nothing is easy. Life has its moments. But like the cake I talked about a moment ago, when we think about and we really look at our lives and really be fair and honest about it, the vast majority of us have had more good days than bad. It's just that sometimes when the bad days occur, they seem to take a whole lifestyle of their own. It's kind of like being in a theater and you're enjoying a good movie, and one person comes in and he or she wants to slide from your left to right when there are other vacant seats, and they seemingly want to walk between you and the seat in front of you. And that sometimes is how a bad moment can feel like. At the very moment a scene is really great on the screen, and here someone is standing, and it seemed like, for instance, that they seem to stand and stop right in front of you once you're allowing them to squeeze past, and there it is with problems. So how do you get a Renaissance mentality in times when they're bad? How do you do it? How do you come up with ideas and dreams when times are unpleasant? How do you do it? I think the best way I can describe it is you're in a building that's the fire alarms are going off. Do you want to burn? I think that's the challenges that are before us. Yes, there's some things that are burning all around us. You either fight the fire, or you give up, or you run from it. I think those who are part of the Renaissance of the past and those that have created their own Renaissances in their lives right now are choosing to fight the fire. They're choosing to put the fire out. But more importantly, they're choosing to leave the fire and make things better. That's the beauty of it. That's the joy. The joy, I think, that comes from finding your way of saying, this is my contribution to the world. This is my contribution to life. But we're going to end this podcast in talking about the rainbow and the Renaissance. The Renaissance is the results of someone believing in the rainbow. The Renaissance is the result of those who embraced all the impossibilities and made them possible. They followed their star. The Renaissance is the result of those who listened to their heart. The Renaissance is the result of those who would wake up in the middle of the night, in the dark of the night, and say, no, I'm not settling for just settling. That's how the Renaissance, those are Renaissance people. The good book teaches us another unique proverb. It says, it is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting. So those who tend to produce more and give so much more back to the world have embraced something called empathy. And I believe that is the hallmark. That is the staple example of those who are Renaissance people. They have a feeling or empathy for mankind. Louis Pasteur, I believe, was a Renaissance man. George Washington Carver was a Renaissance man. Even though they didn't live in the 1400s, but they gave the world what it needed when it needed it. When I think about the great leaders that we've had who have emerged on the scene in this country and around the world, they had empathy. They had a feel for humanity. They wanted to see people have clean drinking water. They were tired of seeing babies on crutches. They were tired of seeing people persecuted and killed off by religious zealots who took illnesses as some demonic possession. The Renaissance people. The Renaissance people are those who said, I think there's a better way to travel rather than walk. We'll walk for health, but we'll learn to fly for speed to cover distance. We'll learn how to build machines that go beneath the surface of the ocean. We'll learn how to do that. Those are Renaissance people. Renaissance people tend to do things that nobody else want to do. Are you that type of person? Renaissance people believe in themselves and they believe in the rainbow because they believe in the promises. They believe in promises. Love yourself. Renaissance people love themselves because they love the rainbow. They learn to love the rainbow because in spite of all of the suffering and the discomfort that they may have gone through or going through, they love themselves. We all are just an unfinished piece of artwork. And that in itself gives us promise that I'm not finished yet. You're not finished yet. And being unfinished people, unfinished souls, that means that there's a lot more we can do because there's a lot more to be done. Renaissance. In the villages of Africa, in the villages in India, Asia Minor, the Far East, Central and South America. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to the poor children here in the United States, to the poor in Europe. You are the Renaissance. You are the Renaissance. Embrace your rainbows in the dark. Embrace them. And see beyond the rainbow, and then you can see the stars. You'll find your way better in the dark because the light is blinding. But hitch your hopes on a star, and you'll be part of the Renaissance. It's yours. It's yours for the giving and for the asking. And here's a little quote I heard years ago. It goes like this. But before I said, it doesn't hurt to ask. Not beg, but ask. You see, begging is an act of want and no responsibility. Asking is the act of pursuing, wanting, with the intent to return. That's what asking is. This little saying, it goes like this. I ask life for a penny. I ask life for a penny. And after many years gone by, I learned that I could have asked life for much more. Ask of life anything you want, and it shall be given to you. Ask. And you can build your part in the Renaissance. You can have your say. So in short, embrace your rainbow in the dark, and you'll have your Renaissance, and we'll all be better for it. I hope you've learned a lot. I hope you carry something away from this podcast. Carry something away and like it and share it. Because we're in this thing together, no matter what. Embrace it. Love yourself. Believe in yourself. Listen to your heart. And follow your star. This is Vastine East. I've enjoyed being with you on this podcast. This is a wonderful format. Night journals. Think about it. Until next time.